Good morning. Today we will discuss regarding introduction to robotics. In this, we will cover introduction, basic elements, types, classification and selection of robots. An industrial robot is a general purpose programmable machine possessing certain characteristics. In practice, it is usually an electromechanical machine which is guided by computer and electronic programming. We cannot exactly define that what robot is, but we can say that a robot can be electrical, mechanical or electromechanical setup. It can be programmable or non-programmable. It can be manual or automated controlled. It can be used to move parts and help human beings. A robot is a reprogrammable multifunctional manipulator designed to move materials, parts, tools or specialized devices through variable program motions for the performance of a variety of tasks. A robot must have the following essential characteristics: mobility. It possesses some form of mobility. Programmability. It can be programmed to accomplish a large variety of tasks. After being programmed, it operates automatically. Then sensors on or around the device that are able to sense the environment and give useful feedback to the device. Then mechanical capability, enabling it to act on its environment rather than merely function as a data processing or computational device. And the flexibility. So other human like characteristics are the robot's capabilities to respond to sensory inputs, communicates with other machines and make decisions. These capabilities permit robots to perform a variety of useful tasks. So, useful tasks like dirty task, repetitive task, dangerous task, impossible task, robots assisting the handicap. It can operate equipments at much higher precision than humans and cheaper on a long term basis. It can be designed to move materials, parts, tools, or specialized devices through variable program motions for the performance of a variety of tasks. A general purpose programmable machine possessing certain characteristics. So, robots can substitute for humans in hazardous work environments. Then, consistency and accuracy not attainable by humans. It can be reprogrammed, and most robots are controlled by computers and can therefore be interfaced to other computer systems. Next part is basic elements of robots. So the basic elements of robots are manipulator, controller, end effectors, sensors, energy source, and base. So the basic components are, so first is manipulator, which is the robot's arm, consists of segments jointed together with axis capable of motion in various directions. Then end effectors, which is a gripper tool. Then power supply provides and regulates the energy that is converted to motion. And the controller initiates, terminates, and coordinates the motion of sequence of a robot. So we will see the one by one element of a robot. So this is a block diagram of an industrial robot consisting of controller, manipulator, power supply, and effector. So first is manipulator. So manipulator is mainly consist of a base, an arm and wrist. Robots are mounted on a base which is fastened to the floor. So you can see in a diagram. The body is attached to the base and the arm assembly is attached to the body. At the end of the arm is the wrist. The wrist consists of a number of components that allow it to be oriented in a variety of positions. Relative movements between the various components of the body, arm, and wrist are provided by a series of joints. These joint movements usually involve either rotating or sliding motions. So you can see the manipulator. So robot, it is considered as an industrial robot called as robotic manipulator or robotic arm. This arm is roughly similar to human arm. So it is a mechanical unit that provides motion similar to that of a human arm. Its primary function is to provide the specific motions that will enable the tooling at the end of the arm to do the required work. A robot movement can be divided into two general categories: arm and body, that is shoulder and elbow motions, and wrist motions. The individual joint motions associated with these categories are referred to as degree of freedom. The manipulation is carried out using mechanical devices such as linkages, gears, actuators, and feedback devices. The x-axis travel moves the manipulator in an in and out motion. The y-axis motion causes the manipulator to move side to side, and z-axis motion causes the manipulator to move in and up and down motion. The next part is the controller. So it is the brain of the robot and is based on a computer. Its major function are to store, to sequence, and to position the data in memory, and to initiate, stop, and control motions of manipulator as per instructions given. The controller has two components, the hardware and software. The controller is a communication and information processing device that initiates, terminates, and coordinates the motions and sequences of a robot. It accepts necessary inputs to the robot and provides the output drive signals to a controlling motor or actuator to correspond with the robot movement and outside world. Then next element is end effectors. So robot wrist is attached by a hand. The technical name for the hand is end effector. It is a tool which directly interacts with the job. Depending on the type of work, the end effector may be a gripper, torch or welding torch, etc. The arm and body joint of the manipulator are used to position the end effector, and the wrist joints are used to orient end effectors. So an end effector is the device at the end of the robotic arm designed to interact with the environment. So you can see in a diagram, you can see at the top of the diagram there is a end effectors that is used to grip the component. End effectors may consist of a gripper or a tool. The gripper can be of 2 fingers, 3 fingers, or even 5 fingers. So end effector, it is a device that is mechanically open and close, and it acts as the tool mounting plate. So depending on the type of operation, conventional end effectors are equipped with various devices and tool attachments like grippers, hooks, scoops, electromagnets, vacuum cups, and adhesive fingers for the material handling, then spray gun for painting, attachments for spot and arc welding and arc cutting, then power tools such as drills, nut drivers, and burrs, then special devices and fixtures for machining and assembly, measuring instruments such as dial indicators, depth gauges, and the like. So these are the examples of end effectors, or you can say it is a grippers. Then sensors. So human senses, its sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell provides us vital information to function and survive. Robot sensors. It measure robot configuration or condition and its environment and send such information to robot controller as electronic signals. For example, arm position, presence of toxic gas, etc. So for robots, sensing as well as its interaction with environment is essential. So different types of sensors can be incorporated. So robots often need information that is beyond five human senses. For example, ability to see in the dark, detect tiny amounts of invisible radiation, measure movement that is too small or fast for human eye to see. So sensors provide awareness of the environment by sensing things. So sensors are the core of robots. It is the system that alerts the robots. So sensing can be of different forms like light, sound, heat, chemicals, force, object proximity, physical orientation or position, magnetic and electric fields, resistance. These are the types of sensors. Then pedestal or the base. So it supports the manipulator and it acts as a counterbalance. So robot base, there are two types of robot base, fixed versus mobile. So on a left hand side you can see there is a fixed base and on the right hand side there is a movable base. So robotic manipulators used in the manufacturing are examples of fixed robots. They cannot move their base away from the work being done. And in case of mobile or movable base, so mobile bases are typically platforms with wheels or tracks attached. Instead of wheels or tracks, some robots employ legs in order to move about. Then power source. So the power source depending upon the load, electrical, hydraulic, pneumatic energy source is used for movement of manipulator. So the function of the power source is to provide and regulate energy that is required for a robot to be operated. So there are three basic types of power supplies: electric, hydraulic, and pneumatic. So electricity is the most common source of power and is used extensively with industrial robots. So electrical source, it is used for small and medium load. The second most common is pneumatic and the least common is hydraulic power. So hydraulic power, it is used for the heavy load, and pneumatic, it is used when accuracy it is not required. So the power supply has a direct relation to the payload rating. The next part that we will see, that is the links and joints. So you can see the different types of joints or the different joints and the links in a manipulator. So this is denote joints are and the links that are denoted by the arrows. Then the robot anatomy. So in a diagram you can see there is a base and joints and the link. So link 0, link 1, link 2, and in between link 0 and link 1 there is a joint 1, and in between link 1 and link 2 there is a joint 2, and at the end of link 2 there is a end of the arm. So where gripper or the end effectors are provided. So most robots are mounted on a stationary base on the floor. Base is connected to link 0. Link 0 is the input link to joint 1. Joint 1 is the first in the series of joints used in the construction of robot. The output link of joint 1 is link 1. Link 1 is the input link to joint 2, whose output link is link 2, and so forth. Then different types of robot joints. The robot joints is the important element in a robot which helps the links to travel in different kind of movements. A joint in an industrial robot is similar to that in a human body. It provides with a relative motion between two parts. Most have industrial joints have mechanical joints which can be classified into 5 types. So types of manipulator joints. So mechanical joints of the robot can be classified into one of the 5 types. 2 types that provide translational motion and 3 types that provide rotary motion. So translational motion, it is subclassified as linear joint and orthogonal joint. So linear joint means it is a type L joint, and orthogonal joint it is a type O joint. And rotary motion involves the rotational joint means type R, twisting joint like that is type T, and revolving joint that is type V. Now first we will see the translational motion joints. So in that we will see the linear joint that is type L and orthogonal joint that is type O. So you can see the diagram. So first we will see linear joint. In that you can see there is a input link and output link, and the joint motion that is denoted by the arrow. So linear joint can be indicated by the letter L joint. So relative movement between the input link and the output link is translational sliding motion that is denoted by the arrow, with the axis of the two links parallel. So this type of joints can perform both translational and sliding movements. Then next is orthogonal joint, that is type O joint. The O joint is a symbol that is denoted for the orthogonal joint. This is also a translational sliding motion. So you can see in a diagram there is an input and output link, and the motion it is denoted by the arrow. So this is also translational sliding motion, but the input and output links are perpendicular to each other during the movement. In this linear, the input and output links that are parallel, but here the input and output links that are perpendicular and involves the translational sliding motion. Then rotary motion joints involves the rotational joint that is type R. So you can see there is an input link and output link, and the joint motion that is shown by the arrow. Then twisting joint that is type T, input link, output link, and the joint motion that is denoted by the arrow, and revolving joint that is type V. So first we will see rotational joint. So it is a type R joint. So rotational joint can also be represented as R joint. This type provides rotational relative motion with the axis of rotation perpendicular to the axis of the input and output link, that is called the rotational joint. Then twisting joint, that is type T joint. So this joint also involves rotary motion, but the axis of rotation is parallel to the axis of the two links, that is called the twisting. And revolving joint, that is type V joint. In this, the axis of the input link is parallel to the axis of rotation of the joint, and the axis of the output link is perpendicular to the axis of rotation of the joint. So that is called the revolving joint. Then we will see the robot classification. So you can see the different categories of the classification. So first is based on the level of sophistication, that is first generation robot, second generation, third generation. Then second category, that is based on manipulative function, that is pick and place robots. Then special purpose robots, universal robots. Then third category, that is based on manipulator geometry, that is Cartesian, XYZ, cylindrical, polar, joint arm. The next category, that is fourth category, that is based on motion characteristics, involves point to point robots, continuous path robots. Then fifth category, that is based on type of control, involves non-servo control robots and servo control robots. Then next category is based on technology involved. It involves simple robots, medium technology robots, and sophisticated industrial robots. And last category, that is based on the method of input of information and teaching, involves manual manipulator, fixed sequence robot, variable sequence robot, playback robot, numerically controlled robot, and intelligent robot. Then next is types of robots. So there are 5 types of robots, which are Cartesian robot, cylindrical, spherical, articulated robot, and SCARA. So first is Cartesian robot, a type of robotic arm that has a prismatic joints only. The linear movement of the joints give the Cartesian robot a highly rigid structure that allows it to lift heavy objects. That is the Cartesian robot. Next is cylindrical robot. It is used for assembly operations, handling at machine tools, spot welding, handling at die casting machines. It is a robot whose axis form a cylindrical coordinate system. So you can see the movement of the robot, that is cylindrical. Then next is spherical or polar robot. It is used for handling at machine tools, spot welding, die casting, fettling machines, gas welding, and arc welding. It is a robot whose axis form a polar coordinate system. So you can see in a diagram of polar robot. Then SCARA robot. So it is used for pick and place work, application of cylinder, assembly operations, and handling machine tools. It is a robot which has 2 parallel rotary joints to provide compliance in a plane. Then articulated robot. It is used for assembly operations, die casting, fettling machines, gas welding, arc welding, and spray painting. It is a robot whose arm has at least 3 rotary joints. That is called an articulated robot. Then parallel robot. So one use is a mobile platform handling cockpit flight simulators. It is a robot whose arms have concurrent prismatic or rotary joints. Then robot selection. So robot must be matched properly by capabilities to task requirements. An objective approach to robot selection provides fewer restrictions in system design by allowing for the optimum system design to be achieved regardless of the specific robot need. So criteria for robot selection, first is technical issues. It involves the type, that is non-servo, servo, servo controlled. Then work envelope involving rectangular, cylindrical, spherical, jointed arm, SCARA. Then payload, cycle time, then repeatability, then drive. It may be electric, pneumatic, hydraulic, or any combination, and unique capabilities. Then second category or the second criteria, that is non-technical issues regarding or including cost and benefit consideration, then the training and maintenance requirement, reliability, service, system health, and safety. So this is regarding the introduction of the robotics. Thank you.